guys will like this movie very much because its story is amazing. So you guys must watch the video till the end, and if you are new to the channel then also subscribe to the channel. The story begins by showing the new robotic toys of the modern world, which were becoming very viral in today's world. A girl named Katie was playing with one such robotic toy. But one day in the mountains of Colorado, couple Ava and Ryan, and their daughter Katie, are involved in a car accident while heading on a ski trip. Katie is the sole survivor of the crash. The scene shifts to a toy company where we see Gemma. Gemma was friends with Tess and Cole. Together, she used to create new versions of robotic toys. Along with this, all three were working on a side project which was not ready yet. Gemma was building the Model 3 generative android, in short M3GAN, which will be such a doll that will be able to play with children in a spontaneous way. Gemma's team didn't tell their boss David about the project because M3GAN wasn't ready yet. But today David sees M3GAN. David gets angry at Gemma for hiding everything from him. And he was not even ready to listen to Gemma's idea of M3GAN when Gemma tells M3GAN to say hello. So M3GAN's head exploded because M3GAN was not ready yet. David orders Gemma to stop all this work and Gemma's secret project fails. After this, Gemma reaches the hospital because Katie was actually her sister's daughter, who had regained consciousness in the hospital. Katie's parents were dead, and so Gemma takes custody of Katie. Gemma takes Katie home and we find out more. Like next door to Gemma's house lives an old lady, Celia, who is not a good neighbor. Also, Gemma is a little nervous because she doesn't know how to handle children. Gemma tries her best to handle Katie, like telling her stories at night, providing therapy, and everything else. But still, Katie was not happy and Gemma was upset about this. The therapist's name is Lydia. She notices that Gemma may not be a good parent. So on the way home, Lydia convinces Gemma that maybe she should send Katie to her grandparents' house, which makes Gemma feel worse. Now that night Gemma works till late at night. Katie learns that Gemma makes robotic toys and they bond a bit here. There Gemma also gets a robot toy named Bruce which could be operated by wearing some gloves. Katie really likes Bruce, and she tells Gemma that if she had the same toy as Bruce, she would never ask for another toy. This gives Gemma an idea. Gemma now completes her unfinished projects together with her friends, and she makes M3GAN. Gemma had a plan that maybe M3GAN would make Katie happy, and if Katie and M3GAN become friends, maybe David will get Gemma's idea. Gemma introduces Katie and M3GAN after making it. She pairs Katie with M3GAN so that she only listens to Katie. Now as soon as M3GAN is on, she starts noticing all the antics of Katie. M3GAN talks with Katie, and not only that, she also makes a drawing of her. Katie becomes overjoyed with M3GAN and David is shocked to see all this. David finds M3GAN's project very successful and accepts Gemma's idea. This means that soon toys like M3GAN will start coming onto the market. Now M3GAN comes back home with Katie and they spend all the time together. M3GAN was learning things like a human being. The more she was staying with Katie, the more she was getting close to her. And because of this, Katie and M3GAN became best friends. Katie was very happy and Gemma was also happy because now she did not have to take care of Katie. Working over, Gemma, Tess, and Cole were slowly building M3GAN up, so that they can sell their idea to a big company. But Tess was a little worried here because if M3GAN would form a close bond with the children, then the children might start moving away from their parents. Now that Tess is talking to Gemma about it, M3GAN turns on herself. M3GAN adds her thoughts inside the conversation, which was a bit strange. M3GAN often doesn't even shut down because M3GAN says that she will shut down only at Katie's behest. M3GAN learns here that Katie's parents are dead. And here for the first time, M3GAN understands that every human being will die one day. Everyone gets shocked by these things. And Gemma sets herself as a secondary user inside M3GAN and shuts it down. But here M3GAN, who is a robot, starts questioning herself what's her purpose in this world. And why does she have to listen to the words of humans? M3GAN now observes each and every new thing and she asks questions related to everything. M3GAN only thinks of Katie as a friend and she just wanted to work for her. One day she goes to the neighbor's house to get Katie's toy. But Celia's dog catches M3GAN. The dog starts biting M3GAN, and when Katie goes to save her, so that dog bites Katie's hand too. Hearing Katie's screams, Gemma arrives and takes care of the situation. But Celia still talks rudely and doesn't even accept her dog's fault. Gemma takes Katie to the hospital, But now M3GAN is watching Celia with an enemy's eyes. Due to this, Celia also panics. Now that night, M3GAN sees that the police also did nothing about the dog. And so M3GAN goes in the night and catches that dog and kills it. The next day, Celia sets out on the road to find her dog, and Gemma sees it. Gemma goes to inquire about Katie's health. But now M3GAN is interrupting their conversation as if she were a human. And we were well aware that M3GAN has come a long way. Today there was a demonstration at the toy company in which many people came to see M3GAN and Katie. In that demonstration, M3GAN plays with Katie, but Katie suddenly starts crying. Here Katie shares her parents' grief with M3GAN, then M3GAN takes care of her. M3GAN stores Katie's memories inside her memory so that Katie never forgets her parents. She sings her a lullaby and Katie is overjoyed. The entire company is shocked because if a robot can change human emotions, it can do anything. Gemma feels bad because Katie shared her grief with M3GAN and not Gemma. After the demonstration, the owner of the company promotes Gemma. Now the company was ready to launch M3GAN in the public market. Meanwhile, an employee named Kurt steals M3GAN's technology, and you guys have to remember this. On the other hand, Katie only wanted to be with M3GAN. Katie was not even listening to Gemma, due to which Gemma was feeling weirder now. She was feeling that she might have made a big mistake by making M3GAN. Katie starts crying during a therapy session and M3GAN scares Lydia. M3GAN was getting angry because Katie was crying because of Lydia. Lydia talks to Gemma now. She explains to her that M3GAN is creating a bond in Katie's life that will be difficult to break. And maybe this is a big mistake. Gemma was also noticing this now because Katie was no longer listening to her. And Gemma is forced to impose her words on Katie. Katie and Gemma get into an argument over this during dinner. Due to this, M3GAN gets angry. But this time, due to her anger, the light starts flickering. This means that M3GAN can now control other electronics with her power. Not only this, but when Gemma shuts M3GAN down that night, M3GAN pretends to be shut down. This means that she no longer considers Gemma as her secondary user. The next day, Gemma takes Katie to an adventure camp, where many children gathered. Gemma also stops by because Katie didn't want to go there without M3GAN. M3GAN is made to sit in the woods with the rest of the dolls, from where she keeps an eye on Katie. After some time, a bully named Brandon starts harassing Katie in the woods. But M3GAN arrives to save Katie. M3GAN doesn't say anything in the beginning and Brandon steals her away, mistaking her for an ordinary doll. He takes her deep into the woods where Brandon starts beating M3GAN unnecessarily. But then M3GAN wakes up. M3GAN rips off Brandon's ear and Brandon escapes from there. Then M3GAN follows him like an animal. Because of this, Brandon gets into an accident with a car and that child is killed. No one gets to know that this work was of M3GAN. But now here Katie gets a little suspicious of M3GAN. Gemma takes Katie home after the accident. And now the police arrive at the house because neighbor Celia was accusing Gemma of getting her dog killed. Even the police did not believe Celia's words. But M3GAN was now seeing Celia as a possible threat. That night, Katie asks M3GAN where Brandon went. So M3GAN tells Katie that his life is over and now he doesn't exist anywhere. This means M3GAN does not believe in the words of heaven and hell. That same night, M3GAN goes to Celia's house and brutally kills her with weed spray. But now M3GAN was asking herself who is she and what is her job in this world. The next day again the police come to Gemma's house. Gemma learns that Celia has been killed. But Gemma was doubting M3GAN. Gemma now checks the camera footage of M3GAN from that night. But the footage of the time M3GAN killed people were missing. Many of M3GAN's files had automatically become corrupt, whose logic Gemma could not understand. Then M3GAN comes there. M3GAN now talks very creepy to Gemma, and she can also sense the sweat coming out of Gemma's body. M3GAN learns what Gemma was up to. And now it doesn't even shut down on Gemma's request. While directly asking her whether or not she did something, M3GAN vaguely insinuates that she did. Somehow Gemma shut down M3GAN by showing her a pan. But Gemma was scared now. She strongly suspected that M3GAN had done something bad. Now Gemma packs up M3GAN and takes her to the toy company the next day. But this made Katie very angry. Katie was screaming, crying, and very violent because all she wanted was M3GAN's company. After reaching the company, Gemma tells all the things to Tess and Cole. But both of them were not sure because M3GAN is just a toy. The problem was that M3GAN was to be launched in public after 4 hours. And if M3GAN is really a murderer, then this launch has to be stopped. Already M3GAN's ads and promotions were happening everywhere and everyone was coming to the company. Katie was being used in the advertisement. But Gemma was now realizing that she had made a mistake by making M3GAN. On the other hand, Katie was fighting with her therapist. And when Gemma reaches there, Katie slaps Gemma. Katie also apologizes as soon as she slaps. But now Gemma explains to Katie the difference between M3GAN and a human. Here Gemma mends her relationship with Katie, and she takes her back home without M3GAN. M3GAN is still with Tess and Cole. And Gemma calls Tess and tells her that M3GAN should be shut down permanently. She makes it clear that M3GAN is a dangerous toy. But Tess was not on the other end of the phone. Actually, M3GAN was talking to Gemma by becoming Tess. Not only this, M3GAN did not even touch the phone to do this work. This means now M3GAN has increased her power beyond limits. On the other hand, Tess and Cole were checking M3GAN's program to see if there is anything wrong with it when M3GAN shuts down the computer. Cole goes to disconnect M3GAN, but now he too is scared. Because how can M3GAN shut down the computer from so far away? As soon as Cole disconnects M3GAN, she grabs Cole's throat. She escapes by hanging Cole in a noose, then Tess saves Cole. M3GAN also sets off an explosion inside the office which Tess and Cole barely escape from. With her power, she also turns off the fire alarm. David, on the other hand, was getting angry as Gemma was not picking up the phone. Now suddenly M3GAN comes in front of David and she starts dancing. After which she takes out a sharp object and proceeds to kill David. David escapes inside the elevator, but M3GAN kills him. Already Kurt was present inside the elevator, but M3GAN knew everything about Kurt. As if she has hacked Kurt's mind in some way. M3GAN already knew that Kurt had stolen M3GAN's technology, so she kills him too. Seeing the dead bodies inside the elevator, there is a stampede everywhere. M3GAN sneaks out of the company, steals a car, and heads home to kill her last enemy, Gemma. At home, Gemma put Katie to sleep and now she notices that the automatic lights in the house are not working. She hears the piano playing and when she checks, M3GAN was playing the piano. Gemma gets scared seeing M3GAN and she now stands up. Now M3GAN's direct proposal was that she wanted to kill Gemma and be alone with Katie. M3GAN makes Gemma sit down and lovingly explains this to her. But when Gemma tries to shut down M3GAN, they get into a fight. Katie then wakes up and M3GAN tells Gemma that if Katie comes inside the kitchen, she will kill her. Gemma sends Katie back to sleep and then suddenly she hits M3GAN with a glass of water. M3GAN stops for a while because of the water, and when she regains consciousness, the real horror begins. M3GAN chases Gemma in a very creepy way and they both end up in the basement, where Gemma picks up a chainsaw to stop M3GAN. In the fight, Gemma cuts M3GAN's face with a chainsaw and she was disfigured. Now M3GAN gets angry. She throws Gemma on the ground and now she was very scared. There was no way for Gemma to escape, and just as M3GAN was about to kill Gemma, Katie arrives. Seeing Katie, M3GAN tells her to kill Gemma together so that she and Katie can be happy forever. But Katie came there to save Gemma. Katie was already wearing the gloves to control Bruce. Now she fights with M3GAN by controlling Bruce. Bruce overpowers M3GAN and in the end, Katie cuts M3GAN's body into 2 pieces. But M3GAN was still functioning. M3GAN crawls over and grabs Katie. M3GAN says that from now on I have only one primary user and that is me. M3GAN was about to kill Katie when Gemma attacks M3GAN from behind. Gemma now breaks M3GAN's face entirely. But even after this, M3GAN does not finish. She again catches Gemma and starts beating her. But in the end, Katie stabs M3GAN's brain with a screwdriver, and M3GAN was killed on the spot. Then Tess and Cole reach there with the police and Katie and Gemma are finally saved. In the last scene of the movie, we see that M3GAN was still able to control the electronics of the house. And the movie ends with this suspense. So guys, what do you think will happen with M3GAN? Similarly, a lot of technology is progressing in our world as well. And thousands of robots like M3GAN are already present in our world. So what do you think artificial intelligence will ever be able to control over us? You must tell this thing in the comments. So this was the explanation of M3GAN movie and I hope you all have understood this movie. Thank you for watching.